LeBron James has been on top of the game of basketball for a long time. While he may be getting older, he certainly hasn't ceded from his dominating ways, moving closer every year to the most accomplished career of all time. Let's take a look at what some current NBA players think of the King. Number 10, Kevin Durant. While Kevin Durant has always respected the King, it hasn't stopped his desire to best him on the court every time they compete. When asked about him and James's rivalry, Durant said this back in late 2020. "Since I was in 9th grade and turned on ESPN, LeBron James was the guy that people were saying was the next Jordan. In my mind, it was like, this is the best player, so I have to be as good as this, or I have to look him in the eyes at some point in my career. That was always in the back of my mind as I worked, as I played games, because that was what was told to me. That was the new guy, that was the next Jordan. But that evolved into, it's just another competitor, you know? But just having someone around since I took basketball serious and we're still playing against each other, that's pretty special to me. You can call it a rivalry, you can call it whatever. But to have somebody at the same position where we're guarding each other when we play is definitely special, because he's one of the best players to ever touch the floor." Durant obviously has massive respect for James, but called a fan crazy when he said LeBron's the GOAT. Durant believes Jordan is still above LeBron, adding another layer to a rivalry between him and James that started over a decade ago. Number 9, Zion Williamson. Zion Williamson, often compared to LeBron since his high school days, is the closest thing to the chosen one himself in terms of the sky-high expectations and stardom at a young age. When asked about James before their first matchup in February of 2020, Williamson said, "I used to watch him all the time, especially when he was in Cleveland the first time. He was just an incredible player to watch. He always held his own," Williamson added. "Sometimes I feel he just doesn't get the respect he deserves, but it's not for me to decide." Zion has also stated that James is an incredible player, and his resume speaks for itself. "I knew he had it, and he always shows it, night in and night out." Although these two have not had many interactions to date, they will likely cross paths many more times in the future before James's eventual retirement. Clearly, Zion looks up to LeBron as his mentor, hoping to carve out as illustrious of a career as the 4-time champion has to date. Number 8, Kyrie Irving. Kyrie and LeBron, Batman and Robin. These two have dominated the headlines since their 2017 divorce as teammates, with mixed messages to how their current relationship stands. Irving has always admired LeBron and praised him for being one of the greats, even saying the following during his introductory press conference with the Boston Celtics back in 2017. "To look back at that moment of ground we covered in the last 3-year span, to really realize how special that was and how much stuff happened in that amount of time, I'd be sitting up here and telling you guys a lie if I didn't tell you I learned so much from that guy. The perfection of the craft comes in a variety of forms. And you ask a lot of great players, what does it take to be great? I've had the opportunity to play with one of the greats, and it was awesome. When you look back and you're eternally grateful for the moments you've had and shared, you're able to put peace with that journey and start anew." Irving even called LeBron back in 2019 to apologize and thank him for putting up with Irving's antics as a young player, showing his appreciation for him as a player and a mentor. However, once Irving joined the Nets, he began to throw shade at LeBron, even going as far as saying, "One thing I've always been comfortable with, I felt like I was the best option on every team I played for down the stretch. This is the first time in my career I've looked down and be like, that can make that shot too, and he'll probably do it a lot easier." He was referring to KD, and pointing out how LeBron may not have been that player in his eyes. As it stands currently, these two seem to have a rocky relationship that likely won't be resolved anytime soon. How many championships do you think Kyrie and LeBron would have won if they stayed together? Let us know your thoughts in the comments section down below. Number 7, Steph Curry. Steph Curry and LeBron have had a long history, dating back to Curry's days in college. Curry has long admired LeBron, but like Durant, wants to compete and prove his equal every time they compete. Curry was asked about his and LeBron's rivalry, responding with, "At the end of the day, if you get caught up in that, you're already at a disadvantage, just because there's so many other teams and other players at the top. And what Bron did in the finals, or in the bubble season this year, and what he continues to do every year, it's truly remarkable and unbelievable. I love that competition." Curry is actually good friends with LeBron nowadays, shrugging off any remarks about his dislike for LeBron and praising him for the way he performs night in and night out. While the two have gone head-to-head in the finals several times, it seems that Curry is more appreciative of James's competitiveness and career accomplishments versus their personal rivalry. Curry even ignored James's comments about Curry's valuableness during his unanimous MVP season, stating that, "I've gotten really good at ignoring people." While there may be some fierce competition between these two on the court, Steph certainly appreciates LeBron for his competitive nature and greatness as a player. Number 6. Kawhi Leonard. Leonard, who has quietly been chasing LeBron since his days in San Antonio, is not a man of many words, so it's hard to know what he thinks of LeBron. Though Leonard has mutual respect between him and James, there's not a lot of admiration on Leonard's side. Several instances may give an insight into Leonard's thoughts on James, although one cannot be certain. Back in 2019, following Leonard's arrival to the Clippers, he was seen donning a gold chain with a tiny crown, seeming to take a shot at James by declaring himself the King of LA. In 2020, Kawhi was reportedly heard telling a teammate during a game between the Clippers and Lakers, "Someone tell LeBron stop being scared to guard me." While this report has not been verified by Kawhi himself, it's safe to say that Kawhi likely views LeBron as more of a barrier to his reign as the best player in the league as opposed to a superstar player who he highly respects. Number 5. Luka Doncic. Luka Doncic grew up admiring LeBron, being starstruck when they first matched up in a professional game back in 2018. When LeBron wanted to sign Luka as the first member of Team LeBron to a shoe deal, Doncic commented that it's something you feel special about. Obviously, I didn't know it before. When I saw it, somebody sent it to me. That's how I got to know it. But like I said, it's just something special. It's something I can't explain. When compared to LeBron in 2020, Luka stated, "He's one of the greatest players ever. I'm nowhere near that. I'm 20 years old. This is my second year in the league. Anything can happen, so I have to prove a lot." Respect and admiration still remain between LeBron and Luka, though Luka is now looking at LeBron as more of a competitor who he needs to overtake to win championships and MVPs. Number 4. Carmelo Anthony. LeBron and Carmelo have been close friends for a long time, having competed against one another since high school. LeBron is like a brother to him, with the two having so much in common and spending lots of time together off the court. Although Melo highly respects James's greatness and thinks of him as one of the all-timers, he answered uniquely to a question of who the GOAT is, stating, "You know MJ's the GOAT. He's the greatest ever. We all know that, and we all agree to that. Why can't we say that? Why can't we say that, but also give LeBron his flowers while he's here too? Why can't we say, MJ was very great, LeBron is very great, Kobe is very great? We're not allowed to say those things today because it's always this or that. And that's just our society. You have to choose one." Carmelo also praises LeBron for his high-level performance at the current age, stating that he's not slowing down anytime soon. There's clearly great respect between two best friends and future Hall of Famers. Number 3. Giannis Antetokounmpo. Giannis, who's been challenging LeBron for title of the best player in the league in recent years, has the ultimate respect for the king. Back in December of 2020, the back-to-back MVP said this about James: "It doesn't matter who's the MVP. He's the best. I say so. He's the best in the world. The day that I would be the best player in the world, I'll step forward and say it. So I should get mad right now if LeBron wins the MVP and not me? Don't get crazy. That would mean that I lost my head. Guys, 7 years ago, I was looking up to LeBron. He was like Jordan for everyone else. For me, that was LeBron. And now I'm in the same sentence with LeBron." Giannis greatly respects what LeBron's been able to do across his entire career, even into the latter stages of his career. Earlier this year, Giannis stated, "Kobe told me to sacrifice if I want to win and be great. LeBron is the best in the world. MVP is another story. I can tell that he's the best and my idol. He's 17 years in the league." While Giannis may be the future of the league, his time at the top may have to wait a few more years until the L train slows down. Number 2. Damian Lillard. Lillard has great admiration of LeBron, tabbing him as the greatest player in the world even at the age of 35. Lillard, when asked who the MVP should be, stated, "This season, I think it's LeBron. They're the number 1 team in the West, they've been consistent all year long, and for him to be at the age he's at with the amount of miles that he's put on his body, how often he's talked about the pressure they've put on him in every little thing that he does." Lillard has even stood up for LeBron, calling out those who hate on the king and don't respect this once-in-a-generation athlete. During the bubble this past season, Lillard praised LeBron's title, pointing out how hard it was to win the championship, in the environment where players received adequate rest, no travel, and plenty of preparation for games. It's evident that while some may hate on LeBron and deny his greatness, Lillard will back him any day and stand up to those who think otherwise. Number 1. Chris Paul. Another one of LeBron's closest friends, Paul has praised LeBron for years, citing reasons beyond the court as to why the king will go down as one of the greats. Paul stated, "I think probably one of the biggest things about Bron, if the man wakes up and uses the bathroom, somebody's gonna analyze how he did it, if he did it good or bad. For all that he's been dealt from a young age, just to see how he's handled everything, man, as a friend and a brother, it's unbelievable to see." People don't realize how selfless he is. Paul has also praised LeBron for his ability to keep his head on, citing his business-like approach to the game of basketball while still being a human. After LeBron's past championship this last October, Paul was one of the first to congratulate him, applauding his hard work and dedication through a historic season. Clearly, these two have a special bond and a high level of respect for one another's accomplishments on and off the court. Where does James rank amongst players in the league today? Is he still on top, or has he been surpassed as the best? Let us know your thoughts in the comments section below. And don't forget to like and subscribe for more NBA content.